Alright, welcome back everyone to the Sunday Spotlight. And if we didn't get enough bug hunting in last time, we're knee-deep in it tonight. Infested Planet is a 2014 real-time strategy game from Canadian developer Rocket Bear Games. It appears to be their only title, which is a shame. I quite like what they've got here. I mean, one look at the menu and you can tell exactly what this is all about. You got a planet full of bugs, badly outnumbered space marines. Guess which side we're on. Now, real-time strategy has obviously been kind of absent as a genre these days, with maybe a handful of titles released in like the last decade or so since, I don't know, Command & Conquer 4, which I try to forget, and we're definitely not counting Rivals. That did not happen. That was just a really bad fever dream that someone tried to manifest in reality. Hey, Orange, good to see you. But yeah, the staples of the RTS genre are still kind of embedded in gaming, and what I like about Infested Planet is that it largely avoids them. Like, there's no real base management to speak of, not in the usual sense. In fact, there's not a lot of individual unit complexity either. You're mostly using a small team, support abilities, and a very limited resource pool to steadily clear the map out, pushing against this literally unending tide of bugs and taking control points to get them to stop spawning. There's no real economy to manage, and your units even respawn when they're killed. This game has a laser focus on a few specific things, and then builds its finer points out from there. Gives it a feeling I haven't seen much. It's almost like the polar opposite of They Are Billions, which of course was entirely base-oriented, but let's get rolling and you'll see what I mean. No, we will play through the tutorial. This actually had a good bit of post-release support. There was even a DLC for a planetary campaign released in 2016. Planetary campaign mode in 2016. We'll poke at that later. So yeah, we're starting fresh with a new campaign. We are a mercenary here to help with the bug problem. Kind of a non-specific player character that's just giving tactical orders while a handful of characters do all the plot stuff. Anyway, rise and shine, you devils. Hope you all had mighty comfy dreams, because you're going to be ankle deep in alien bleep by evening. I think they... Yeah, that's censored there. That's cute. We're all here for one reason. To get paid the big bucks. So don't dime me out there, because you ain't getting paid if you chewed up carcasses lying on the rocks below. You know what to do. You trained hard for this. I'll see you grunts planetside. Alright. Yeah, there's not a lot of plot to speak of. One look at the characters and you know pretty much what you're gonna get. But there are some interesting developments later on. We probably won't get to them, but the game does have a few twists. But anyway, here's our tutorial. We've got our small squad. And this is basically the gameplay. You sort of control them. You can control them individually, but very often you'll be moving them as a unit and just sort of attacking and slowly rolling up the map. Grabbing control points as you move. Most of the maps aren't really this structured. Like, this is all kind of like cinematic. You've got these non-player units that are helping out. Yeah, why don't you help those army boys over there kill that alien hive? You can let them have all the fun. So yeah, the meat and potatoes of gameplay is taking out these alien hives, pushing back against a ceaseless swarm of bugs, grabbing the control point, and then moving on to the next one. Kicking alien ass now. Why don't you mob up here and capture the entire sector? I'll see you back at the base. So yeah, on to the next control point. One interesting little detail, and part of the reason I didn't quite know what volume to set this on is the game actually softens its audio depending on what level of zoom you're at. Like, if you're up close, the guns are actually fairly loud, whereas if you zoom out and get like a top-level view of the action, there's not a lot of things you hear aside from the music, which I think is kind of an interesting little detail and lets you kind of focus on the entire map without a lot of distracting elements. Anyway, let's push forward to this last control point here. And victory is ours. Go team! Alright. It has that feel to it. Oh, I forgot to grab that one. My bad. It has the look and feel of that at first. Its complexity sort of unfolds over time. There's more to it than meets the eye. Well, actually, that's probably not the right way to put it. More that what's here gets built out into some surprisingly complex ways, even if the mission-to-mission rhythm doesn't change all that much. But take a look at this kill count. Like 9,000 of these bugs we killed just in this opening tutorial mission. That gives you a sense of the scale of what we're operating at. This is how it starts. Yeah, you get fewer casualties than I did in the final mission. Maybe. Honestly, some of the late game stuff does throw some interesting curveballs, and it can take a while before you figure out what kind of gimmick the aliens are throwing at you. But anyway, hey Mirage, hey Ash, good to see you. More the art style being very reminiscent of vector art at the time. Yeah, I can kind of see that. Anyway, military contractors of the 101st Fleet. You've got a job to do, or you have got a job to do. At 0500 hours, one of our logistics shuttles suffered engine failure. It crashed somewhere in the Badlands to the east. The shuttle was destroyed, and valuable supplies are scattered all over the area. Your mission is to find and retrieve those supplies. They're vital for the success of the campaign. Last mission, and then I had a few hundred casualties or something. Yeah, that sounds about right. Like, most of the missions go pretty smoothly, especially on normal, which I feel is pretty fairly tailored to the as the difficulty mode goes. But they do hit you with some curveballs later on that can really catch you blind, and especially if you're not watching your flanks, the aliens can spread really damn quick. But anyway, November 10th, 2145, the beachhead has been established perfectly. I sent out Drake's hired guns to look for the missing weapons and explosives. I cannot say that I trust the man. He seems experienced enough, but I cannot shake the feeling that he will turn as soon as the coin runs dry. You know, fancy you saying, like, it's rich that this guy is saying that. I mean, look at this fucking guy. He looks like a dude that's complaining that his country doesn't have enough Lebensraum. Anyway, yeah, Lebensraum, anyway. Right, it is best to wrap up this bloody business fast. I will strike hard for the center of alien growth and cut out the beast's heart. If luck holds, we'll all be home for the new year. Hey, guys, good to see you. Here's the deal, folks. We need to roll through this patch of grubs to get to our next target. Can't have this mess at our backs. Take the team and capture this entire sector. Alright, now we have a little more leeway here. This is entirely on us. Yeah, Mr. Space Monocle. Yeah. That is like the flunky Bond villain that reports to the main villain. He'll get killed off like halfway through the movie because something lands on his head and like cuts it off or something. Like he'll get kicked into an industrial press or something. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Oh right, let's get some backup. So yeah. So you work with a small squad most of the time. You start with 5 guys, and you saw there were recruited 3 more. Every time you recruit more, the cost of doing so increases, so you're never going to be working with a very large pool of units. This is our resource here, BP. I'm not sure if it actually stands for anything, some kind of points. But anyway, yeah, we have bigger guns. Get on the phone real quick and order takeout, so he's going to order some air support here. I love my shotguns. Babies kick like a mule, though. Let's grab a couple of those crates from down there. So yeah, this is one of the ways you upgrade your troops. And these will be better suited for dealing with clusters of enemies. So yeah, you'll pretty much always be working with a fairly small squad. I think the most you'll ever have is something like maybe 12 units. And it's mostly about making the most of them, protecting your territory with static defenses, while your small team of elite units just kind of moves from one objective to the next. And, you know, finding individual weapons to use for them. Some will have flamethrowers and miniguns. You'll have officers and such. So there's a good degree of nuance in squad management, but as you can see here, the actual controlling of them is fairly simple. Like, I'm just doing an attack move here, and they're intelligently prioritizing between the actual objective and the nearest threat. I think there's a little more fine control in the options here, but so far I haven't found it too necessary. And victory is ours. Let's proceed. So yeah, not as many kills there, but believe me, that number will climb. Alright. Soldiers, our task is to secure a metric ton of lost goodies. We're right near the crash site, so we'll see boxes any time now. I'm sure that our alien friends have already slobbered all over them, so keep your rifles close. Glad to see most of you boys and girls made it here in one piece. One piece. Tripping over my own tongue already. You keep being real careful, lad, and soon you all will be back home getting drunk and counting your pay. And don't you go stirring up trouble with the army. Getting enough glares as it is. General Magnuson's some sort of hero. You stir up enough crap and you just might find yourself on the front lines dying for humankind or something. Just keep your head down and do your job. Right. Would you look at that? Wonder if the general would notice if we kept a couple crates. Maybe a couple boxes. Maybe a couple dozen. No need to be stingy with the rocket squad. Let's go blow some stuff up. So yeah, this is introducing us to special abilities, in this case rockets, which are very handy for dealing with hardened structures like these. You can see there they've got these turrets and these spawners. And it needs a little more oomph to get through them. Now again, the AI is pretty good about prioritizing targets and clarifying which units you want to destroy. And, interestingly, they will keep firing. Okay, plenty more of that crate over there. Right, so we'll have to get over here. Alright, let's see if we can... Yeah, they'll keep firing with their rocket launchers so long as they have ammo until the target's destroyed. So there's a lot of fire and forget with these abilities. And they're pretty good about smoothly moving from one target to the next, so long as there isn't some obvious conflict in what you want them to do. Yeah, it definitely has that Star Troopers vibe to it. I think that's a pretty clear influence. Alright. Alright. Oh man, this is gonna be fun. Nearly as good as that time I borrowed a tank. Dude kind of looks like... what's the name of that guy who was in the control tower in Airplane? He looks like that, but with a beard and a cigar. That guy. I'll have to look that up afterward. Anyway, your ammo, which is kind of a general use supply for all your unit's special abilities, that'll replenish slowly over time, and I think being in combat helps it replenish quicker, but also you can grab extra from these crates to quickly fill it up. Alright. Let's bring some extra guys out. Wonder what the boss man has in store for us. Heard that the army's preparing for a big push. Good plan if it works. Not so good if we get bogged down pulling grubs out of our boots. So yeah, you can give your units more focused targeting orders, but given how quickly targets tend to die, it's usually best to sort of just attack, move, and trust them to prioritize, with certain exceptions. Alright, reload using crates. Honestly, we haven't needed to reload that often. We do have a lot of targets here. You can see here, we're pretty good about dealing with threats as they get close, and your soldiers actually have a melee attack that's pretty effective at getting enemies out of your face. And we're also pretty burly, despite the fact that we're getting swarmed pretty hard. Most of our soldiers are doing okay. You got a few guys that are starting to be a little banged up. But for the most part, the game is pretty good about making sure your guys can actually stand up in a melee. And you'll have ways to regenerate them, to heal them, which we will unlock as we go. And again, your units will automatically oh shit. Yeah, this is what you gotta watch for. Bugs will break free, sometimes intelligently, sometimes incidentally, and make a go for the nearest control point. And because of your limited squad size, it can be a little bit tricky keeping track of them all. So later on, we'll be setting up static defenses to watch for those, but it is something you need to keep in mind as you're clearing a map. Nice and easy. Yep, lost one guy. Well, there goes our perfect record. That's alright. The clone will be ready shortly. So yeah, a lot of the early missions, especially the early missions, will go fairly quickly, usually just kind of a few minutes. It's later on where things get a little more complicated, especially when hives start developing mutations and defenses and such. Anyway, Drake, your team is out of control. War is intellect, not a joyride. I ordered you to secure the ammunition dump, not to use half of it for your personal fireworks display. I obviously can't trust you on the front lines. Report to the east of the camp for guard duty. I'm assigning someone to babysit your band of amateurs. Alright, Council Report number 57. The mission is proceeding according to schedule, and the xenoforms have offered only token resistance. If General Magnuson's estimates are correct, the planet will be ready for Stage 1 colonization within 6 months. The Army has assigned a mercenary platoon to facilitate the Council's scientific goals on Charon. Hey, we finally got a name for the planet. I will meet and assess their suitability shortly. We will act to preserve as much of the alien biomass for study as feasible. Oh, trust me, there's going to be a lot of that left over. Yeah, glasses spotted. Yep. So obviously she's going to be the expert that nobody listens to. All right. Ah, damn. Who built this? Oh, hell. Who built this? What a damn mess. The bugs have just marched through. We got to shore this up before it's too late. All right, so now we're going to be building some structures here. All right. First, we build the turret in the specified location. And interestingly, you can build structures pretty much, well, some structures pretty much anywhere on the map. A lot of the support stuff does have to be built close to a control points, but your turrets, you can actually use them offensively, and in fact you will use them offensively because they are very handy in clearing out enemy structures, dealing with the tide while your men push forward. In fact, I think we'll use one for our next objective here. Yeah, I got a bit cocky there, but yeah, it's alright. Good morning, Captain Drake. I understand that we'll be working together. Alright. Go. So again, there you saw I did an attack move command. That didn't interrupt the build command, however. That's something you have to specifically top. So again, the game is pretty good about intuiting what it is you want your troops to do. And usually won't interfere with... Usually won't cause problems with your tactics. I don't know if you noticed, Doctor. I don't know if you noticed, Doctor, but we're a bit busy here. Why don't you get back to base? So yeah, when you give a specific targeting order, that's when your units will ignore other threats that get close. And just focus on taking out this one thing. Then let me rephrase that, Captain. The General has placed your platoon under my direction. You work for me now. Alright. Right, gotta relearn the hotkeys here. So yeah, we put a turret down here. And that helps thin the horde while we advance and deal with the base. Easy peasy. Again, it's relatively simple visuals, but there is some nice character to the creatures and the different forms that appear, and there's some nice visual effects when you get going. Like, I think the blood splatter effect is nice and impactful, the way the screen shakes whenever you destroy something, when you fire a rocket. There's a good sense that you are fighting against this unending swarm. We don't take orders from scientists. You can tell that to Magnuson yourself. Now stop bothering me when I'm fighting. So we are definitely going to get a lot of intersurface squabbling here. And again, they do a couple interesting little twists with that later. We probably won't get to it on camera, but you can start to see that the mutual distrust, let's say, between the mercenaries, the military, and the scientists will be an element to the story going forward. Ah, we lost one guy. What I need to do is prioritize the turrets. That's your main threat until the other aliens start developing their own ranged measures. Good work, men. Intel's squawking that a large attack's coming from the west. Let's recycle everything and return back to return our metal. Don't worry, you get 100% of it back. So yeah, this wants us to take our turrets and recycle. Shortcut D. And you can even recycle your soldiers to add that back to your point count. Hold on, we'll need more metal here. I'm gonna call in Chopper with extras. I'm gonna call in a Chopper with extras. Alright, so these we grab and drag back to our nearest control point, and that gives us more resources.
On the move. Moving to location. Moving out.
Alright, now that we're good on the metal, let's fortify that path to the west. I say 6 turrets should tear those aliens to shreds. Alright. And like we talked about with Aliens Dark Descent, the game is pretty good about when you're issuing multiple specific commands, running down the list of your soldiers and assigning them one at a time. So you can issue multiple build commands so long as you got the squad to support it. Alright, hold the line, devils! Oop, don't mind if I do, thank you, Kirby. Alright, let's roll up the mat now that the worst of it's over. But there you got a taste of the kind of mutations that these creatures are going to throw at you. Some of them are going to be relatively invulnerable to your standard weapons, or at the very least be tailored to get around specific obstacles. Some will manage to shield themselves like structures and require explosives to deal with. There are interesting things the game throws at you as you proceed, and they don't necessarily fulfill the usual like tier upgrades you'd see in an RTS. They come up with some pretty inventive stuff that requires you to adapt to the entire situation on the map rather than a specific thing coming at you. Alright. So that's another 3,000 aliens down, and presumably several billion to go. Good job, team. Alright. The money will come into play shortly. Basically, we get money to buy permanent upgrades and perp stage power-ups. We'll get to that as soon as we get a couple more of these missions set down. Welcome to the future, where there's no such thing as deconflicting lines of fire. That's the thing. They have smoothed out a lot of the complicated aspects, even by RTS standards, and you're mostly concerned with not quite high-level management, but just managing the front, basically. Like, figuring out where to allocate your units and push, where to build defenses and such, and not so much micromanaging every single soldier or commanding the economy of your base. Anyway, hello, Captain. You'll be receiving your briefings from me now. The army is mobilizing for a big push into the cave system, and you are going to be in the front of that attack. General Magnuson and I have decided to use the Devils as a recon team, so you'll be the first to see what the aliens have for us. Report to the front at 0900, Captain. Alright, let's get moving. November 18th, 2145. Now's the time to sanitize the planet. There's a word for it. I've ordered the start of offensive operations into the deep alien infestation. I've tossed Drake's mercenaries to Dr. Cassander and moved them to the front. That should give us something to write about in those government reports. Yeah, who did any of those bureaucrats holding you back, right? Anyway, also, we have advanced weapon crates being brought down from orbit. I think that'll have Drake pay the army for using them. If only I could shoot through my friends with such impunity. Yeah, isn't that nice? Nice and handy. Okay, damn that meddling witch. We're gonna need some bigger guns if we lead the charge. You should make some shotguns for your squad. Alright, so here's how we upgrade our units without having to pick up crates on the field. So we're gonna give our team some shotguns. Yeah, this whole game is like a Lancer backstory event. Yeah, it kind of has that feel to it. Alright. Now this is kind of what I was talking about with upgrades here. So again, you can see that these spawn points have been shielded, which means rifles are going to slowly chip away at them, but shotguns should work through them relatively quickly. Yeah, though that takes a different view of your actions. Yeah, like this is fairly straightforward as far as plot goes. There's only a few twists later on, which, like I said, they do have some interesting elements to them. But for the most part, it's very what you see is what you get. You're not going to be surprised very much. There's not a lot of nuance and not a lot of information about the broader context of the state of the universe. It's strictly just presenting this relatively straightforward military campaign against an enemy that we will soon find out is not very straightforward at all. Alright. So yeah, shotguns made short work of that. Good job, team. Alright, let's move out and sweep the filth out of here. I'm going to call in an airdrop with some medical gadgets. Alright, now finally we can start to heal our guys. Thank you. Alright. Go ahead and put a turret right here for now. So this we sort of collect and drag around, and that lets the unit heal anybody that's nearby. Reminds me a little bit of the tidbit about the medics that were added in the Brood War expansion for StarCraft. How they extended the average life expectancy of the standard trooper to from 6 seconds to 9 seconds. Just painted a very vivid picture of just how cheap life is in the Cumberland sector. Alright. Probably want to put another turret down. Say, right about there. You usually don't need to put too many hard defenses on your bases until the enemy gets a few mutations under their belt, but they will occasionally make a coordinated push, especially later on in the campaign. You need to watch for that. Now, you see here, this guy got a bit tricksy. He's probably going to get away from that there turret. So we are going to reposition that thing. In fact, let's get a couple more soldiers out. Alright. Alright, turret should be able to keep pace with that, at least for a while. But yeah, a lot of this game is basically managing the flow of enemies and just dealing with constant pressure from multiple directions. Occasionally punctuated by specific tactics or, let's call them innovations, that the AI throws at you. I should save those rockets, but there's a reload crate right there. Now it is time to sanitize the planet. Oh-ho! Someone's throwing our rhetoric right back at us. Fascinating. As you can see here, we're throwing our guys pretty much right into the thick of it with a lot of turret coverage. But that medical pod, I guess, really goes a long way in keeping our guys alive. You can see here it really only patches up one unit at a time, but sort of intelligently moves between them, focusing on the character most at risk, or the unit most at risk. What the hells was that? Doc, you hearing this? Alright, you guys go grab those pods.
Yes, sir.
Signal's coming from the deep caves, Drake. I'm streaming it to the science team. Hey!
Awaiting orders. Moving to location.
Alright. Let's get another turret up. Yeah, that brave little turret's doing its job. Alright. I'm gonna deal with these here. So yeah, it's interesting because the way this game is laid out is a pretty stark difference from the usual rhythm of play with an RTS, where you get your starting base, there's a bit of calm as you scout out resource points, you make initial contact with the enemy to figure out their positions, you build up defenses, you decide whether you're going to rush the enemy or you're going to prepare for an attack yourself. Whereas here, the onslaught is kind of constant. There are occasional peaks and valleys where things get more or less intense, but you're just always under pressure to deal with threats and expand the territory you control. And it's kind of a gradual process. Oh, shit. Well, that should be okay. Famous last words, but last one here. I don't like this. Let's clean up and get back to base quick. Okay, you see here there's a big defensive wall there, but we can hit from behind and simplify our approach. In fact, we got a ton of resources here, so let's just throw a turret down for funsies. Beautiful. Good job, team. Alright, another 5,800 down. Earn my daily pay. Alright. Guess what, Drake? You and the Doctor are going to find the source of that mystery signal and kill it. It's coming from somewhere deep, so you need to fight through several caves to get it. You'll be out of radio range once you go far enough. Oh, that's a pleasant sign. Get ready. You're dropping at 1,700. Alright. So I think... Do we have enough yet? We do, yes. Actually, yes. So now we can start buying permanent upgrades. So you can buy one-time upgrades, or one-time buffs that act like immediate deployment benefits. Like you can get a extra soldier to start with, extra shotgunners, or a med pod right at the start of the mission, and that can help you expand more quickly. Or you can spend your money on these permanent upgrades, which are always a good idea, but you'll want to balance that out as you go, because some missions you will want some extra oomph to start with. It's not strictly speaking necessary, it can just make your life a lot easier. But let's start with buying bunkers, so that way our control points will be a little more fortified. And let's go to Crow's Neck. Respectfully, I disagree with the conclusion that the unidentified signal is a cave radio echo. I urge the Directorate to consider that there is more to this planet than we first anticipated. The General is sending a strike team to locate and destroy the source of the signal. Obviously, I find this course of action to be incredibly reckless. I recommend that the current mission be put on hold while the Science Division runs proper studies. Tempting prospect, but something tells me the situation is going to be a little bit beyond studying. But anyway... Be careful, keep an eye on anything unusual. Alright. So they're taking the gonna take the gloves off a little bit here. I think this is where they start introducing mutations. More on that in a second. Other nice thing about bunkers is that they can also heal your troops, so capturing a control point will help you bring your troops back up to fighting fit status. So, let's move in. Ah, shit, I see that. Relax, Doc. Killing any of the buggers is what we do best. Looks like an easy run for a change. Oh, boy. Drake's tempting fate there. So yeah, what you end up doing is looking for the choke points on a map and finding places where the enemy can come from. So if we put a turret right here, it's a pretty good bottleneck. So now the enemy won't be able to surprise us unless they spawn something from in here, which later on they can do, and the game usually warns you about it before they do that. But that is an example of how you think about progression. Like what your priorities are when you're advancing. Let's see. We'll grab ourselves a shotgun. Yeah, you start thinking in terms of territory you can secure and where best to put your defensive resources so that your offensive resources can safely advance. Does it? Alright. Good job, team. So now we're going to be under a lot of pressure from both sides here. Alright, good. As you can see, we get BP every time we capture a point, but there's a finite amount of that on the map. So if you lose a point and then recapture it, you don't lose the BP for losing it, but you also don't gain extra for recapturing it. So there is an upper bound to how many things you can deploy. Though, as mentioned, we get points back whenever we recycle something. So the game is pretty lenient about... what's the word I'm looking for? It's pretty lenient about mistakes and giving you a backstop from which to recover from, so long as you don't lose every single control point. That's the only time you actually get a game over. Alright. Let's push forward. It's not the greatest idea to put us in the middle of a two-front war, but really, we're just kind of already there. So, let's pop those turrets. Good stuff, good stuff. But yeah, the top level of design of the game, unusual changes. This is what we do best. Observe. Uh-oh. I think the bugs are learning. Okay, so you see here, this is a list of mutations that might pop up, so one of them is spore mines. So now these bases have these mines scattered all around them, and that will complicate our approach. It's a small change, but it's an example of what's going to happen from now on, because every one of these hives we destroy is going to make the other hives stronger. So, swell. So yeah, it's a nice little change that, as you proceed, the bugs we develop these new abilities, and they don't just get them as you progress through the campaign, but they unlock as you progress through the mission. And that gives you more to worry about for the next thing you go up against. So even as the enemy gets less numerous, what's left of them gets more dangerous, which I think presents a good complication when you have an enemy where numbers are their primary advantage. Alright, let's grab here. Damn it, had to open my big mouth, didn't I? Looks like the hives are growing mines now. Doc, you eggheads reading this? Oh, now we want to listen to the expert. So yeah, your soldiers, if you're attacking and moving, are pretty good about popping the mines. But if you're giving a specific firing order, they may ignore them as they advance. Just something to keep in mind. What this reminds me a little bit of is dealing with alien hives in Factorio, where you're dealing with a constant swarm of enemies that are that will overwhelm you if you don't have enough fire support, and your main goal is to sort of destroy their... It adapts. Yes, more change. Yeah, your main goal is to destroy their hives, their spawn points, before you get overwhelmed or run out of ammo, your turrets go down, whatever. That's kind of the vibe I get from this. Alright. Okay, so the next mutation, regeneration. Undamaged hives can heal nearby aliens and structures. Less of an issue for individual aliens, because as you can see, those die pretty much instantly. More an issue for their defensive structures, because those can sometimes take a beating. And also, you can see here they're starting to pour more enemies at us, and this turret's going to be overwhelmed if we don't do something. So, on we go. Yeah, the healing range on this is a little short. Alright, there we go. Everybody's back up. Alright, here's what we're going to do. Recycle. Alright, good, looking good. Now that we've split their attention, that turret should be able to hold for a while. And let's just roll up the carpet. Is there anything else here? Ooh, dropper strike. Okay, so this is something we got earlier. let's take this point and we'll demonstrate that. Alright. Drake, I'm reading that the hives are starting to heal themselves. The aliens are mutating at a rapid rate. Alright, let's put this down. So as mentioned, there's not a lot of base management, but there are these support structures you can put down at your control points. This one will give us access to airstrikes, which use the ammo resource like our rockets. So again, we're dealing with some fairly simplified resource management, but a good degree of variety to the resources you can feel. Alright, so let's launch an airstrike.
Roger that.
And you can see here that did cost ammo because it was the first one. And the longer you wait between airstrikes, the less it costs. Like if we order another one, that will eat up a good chunk of this ammo we use for rockets. But if we wait long enough, we can use it for free. So this game expects it, even encourages you to spam your fancy toys, but expects you to manage the resources with which you spam them. Alright. Fascinating. It teaches us much. More adaptation. Come find us in the depths. Okay, so now the aliens are taunting us. This is a concerning development. So yeah, after losing a point, aliens attack with amazing speeds. You can see here, they're starting to swarm us at an accelerated rate. Now the turret here is doing a good job holding its own, but obviously they're going to get more and more intense as we take more points. Yep, there's another one. Alright. Let's rain some more hell on them. Beautiful, beautiful. All that's missing is Ride of the Valkyries.
Yes, sir. Moving to target. Awaiting orders. Moving to location.
Piece of cake. Alright, now we're getting up to some proper kill counts again. Alright. Alright, so we've been actually progressing along a mission map, although I haven't stopped to poke at it. There's not a lot of distinction here. These eventually branch off into optional missions, which just give you more money. It's a good idea to go through them, and obviously you will eventually get more... You will eventually get more cash than you actually need to buy the permanent upgrades. So yeah, we only have 14,000 bucks. The medical pod upgrade is 19,000. So we'll want to hold off on that for now. But it adds a little bit of, I'm not going to say non-linearity, but less linearity as you progress. So yeah, Sudden Strike, 5,000 plus bonus. Let's take a look here. Devils, the General is sending us to rattle the alien's cage a bit. We're doing hit-and-run missions to shake things up and see what falls out. Don't bother holding land, just slash, burn, and get out. Oh, and we're getting paid for killing stuff. Now's the time to let out some steam. Stomp lots of alien hives and do it quick. The evac chopper will be back for you in no time. Alright. Y'all might have noticed that we're plenty closer to the fire lately. Command has seen fit to put us in the front lines to see what the alien bastards have coming up for everybody. Can't say that it's a comfy spot to be in, but we're getting paid more these days as an upside. Speaking of which, don't get comfy with the eggheads hanging around the place. We might be into some spooky alien crap now, but we're here for cold hard cash, not science, you know. If Dr. Cassandra gives you any trouble, you just send her my way. Alright, we're on short time, squad. Kill all you can before the clock runs out. Bonus pay for wiping the area clean, you hear? Alright, time's wasting, soldiers. Let's get going. Alright, so the timer is extended as we kill, which is good. Alright. Unfortunately, we don't gain additional control points. So you sort of need to haul ass here. It's not too difficult, though. You do need to be reasonably quick, but it helps that the enemies are not aggressive here. You can see that these creatures aren't sending their aren't sending their drones out to attack us. So you don't need to worry about keeping your control point intact. As our commander said, this is pure smash and grab. Alright, here we go.
Yes, sir.
It is possible to do this without losing men, but they want smash and grab, they get smash and grab. Alright, here we go. Oh, no, I saw that. Now we're done. Alright. Let's grab these fellas. Alright. Forward, gentlemen. Dream new toxins. Synapses grow stronger. Observe together. Oh boy. Hive spit. When Hive researchers get 50 health, it spits out a toxic bomb. Oh, fun. So we'll probably want to back off when that happens. Alright, nice. Good job, team. Ay, ay, ay. Mind the area of effect, gentlemen. Suppose that's asking a bit much, but whatever.
Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. Moving to target. Ready to fight. Awaiting orders. Roger that.
Yeah, we're almost done. Plenty of time, so long as you keep moving. And that's kind of the one constant of this game. It encourages you to constantly take your small team and just keep them on the move, dealing with additional threats. Beautiful. Kill fast, bonus cash. Alright, lost 6 guys. And I wouldn't say we got an equivalent amount of kills in, but extra money. That takes a lot of the sting out. So yeah. Let's buy that medical pod, which we could have used in the last mission. The irony is not lost on me. And we get the minefield as well, why not? So yeah, definitely worth doing the bonus missions. In fact, let's... Oh, random mission. I forget how these work. Okay, lightning quick raid on the mine shafts, smash and burn enemy hives, and protect bunkers to earn the most cash. Okay, so this isn't really plot related. This is just something you can do for extra cash. Let's check it out. Oh, I think it's another case. I think it's just another... The previous one was a demonstration of what to expect in these missions. And now we can just freestyle and get more of them. Outstanding. Alright, you bring that back there. The rest of you advance. I wonder if there are hotkeys. Okay, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 hotkeys and cycles through them. That's excellent, excellent. Hurry up, buddy. There you go. Oh, can't build the airstrikes in here. Ah, well. Alright. When do you guys grab a shotgun? Nice! Oh, now we can build, Oh, I see what's going on here. Everyone we kill, we claim that area, and it doesn't build a bunker, it builds a new upgrade. Hey, Ivory, good to see you. Oh, no, wait, no, it just builds another healing station. That's fine, too. Don't mind us, Ivory, we're just on a bug hunt. Ah! But here they are aggressive. Mutation counterattack. Alright. Alright, you guys go down there and head them off.
Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. Roger that. Awaiting orders. Roger that. On the move. Yes, sir.
Finish the job, Marines. Or mercenaries. Oh, I think if we recycle that, it puts a shotgunner down. Yep, that's it. You know what? That's enough. We can build a turret there, and we need to. Alright. Alright, I want you guys to push up. I want you guys to push up. Oop. You guys move up and sort of rejoin the group over here. Sort of picking the pace here. Here we go. Excellent, excellent. Rust. Oh boy. Human structures become severely susceptible to poison attacks. Oh, lovely. They'll continue to push up. We ain't having that. Finish them off. Not one bug left standing. The only good bug is a dead bug, etc. Good. Good. Assassin attack imminent. Oh boy. Fucking hell. Okay, we got a problem. Hey, hey. Fellas. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, fall back to the turret. It's getting a bit hairy here. Okay, yeah. Suicide Squad of clones hunts your most expensive Marine. Lovely. So yeah, that's something else we can look forward to. Alright, you guys stay there. Just sort of push that back. And you guys haul ass over there. Oh boy. When hives die, all their towers come back to life. Oh joy. So yeah, I can see here, while we're pretty good on time, they're definitely stepping up the pressure and coming at us with some pretty innovative and frankly pretty dangerous upgrades. Yeah, that's what makes the mission possible. You're on a timer, but killing resets the timer. Alright, you grab that. Alright, you put a turret right there. Now let's get some shotgunners up. Alright, put a turret up. Now we should be able to push forward. So yeah, the overall gameplay doesn't change radically from one mission to the next, but the different things they throw at you and how quickly your situation can change does alter the rhythm of play quite a bit. So you'll be steadily rolling up the map, dealing with a flood of enemies, making an advance on the hives, and then suddenly mutations will pop off that makes your progress significantly more dangerous. Brood guards, slow, tough aliens would now defend enemy positions. Wonderful. Yeah, see what I mean? Oh boy. Alright, hustle, Marines. We gotta cover that. Ah, shit. We lost money. The only thing I really care about. Alright. We'll get another turret up. Crap. Now things are becoming problematic. Not a huge amount to worry about here. But it is actually proving quite difficult to make a meaningful advancement. They've hardened their defenses significantly. So we'll see if we can rocket our way to victory. Get back up there, Marine. Everyone fights, no one quits. Slowly making some headway here, but damn, they're just pumping out dudes at us. Nice! What's this? Toxic Revenge. When hives die, they explode and leave a toxic cloud to damage your team. Now, that's just spite. Which, you know, I can respect. If anything, that makes me understand the bugs a little bit more. They're almost human in a way. So yeah, the mutation system definitely gives a good sense that even when the aliens have their backs against the wall, there's still going to be a huge problem, and they can turn things around pretty quickly if you're not careful. All right. All right. We got this now. Beautiful. Good job, team. With only one bunker lost. Not too bad. Alright. 12,000 down. Acceptable losses. We earned our 46,000 space bucks. Alright. We don't have anything to buy with it just yet. Upgrades are strictly plot. They're unlocked by the plot, so you don't necessarily want to do every single optional mission as soon as you get them, but it's a good idea to have enough cash on hand, because some of the late game upgrades do get a little bit costly. Anyway, let's take a look at one more story mission, and then we'll show off the planetary campaign before we call it a night. Anyway, Drake, since we are exploring deeper into the caves, we're going to stop at a research outpost nearby. It is an automated biochem facility built when we first explored the planet. There's some valuable data there, and we'll make a detour to pick it up. Oh boy, an escort mission. Please restore payments to the military contractor group registered as Drake's Devils. Commander Drake and I had a very productive discussion recently, and assured me that there will be no further insubordination. Now that I have full cooperation of the Devils, we will be pursuing the research division's mandate on this planet. It is unfortunate that the Council sees colonizing the planet as the #1 priority. This could be a wellspring of new scientific data, and all of it will be ignored. Onward! Those army fools are going to rush in to get themselves killed. Maybe we can drop in fast enough to save their ass. Alright. This is why we're going to call in air support. Build a tech station for airstrikes, Drake. Yep. Let's sell one of these guys. Alright, not quite fast enough, but, you know. We tried. An effort was made. Alright, and the flyboys blow shit up. Yes, we know how this works. It's funny that they actually introduce it before they tutorialize it. guess we're gonna need to hustle on because they do rebuild those turrets after a while. Let's sweep this area, team. Don't leave none of them grubs alive. Oh, hey, they built one. Yep. Alright, deal with that. And deal with that. Alright, so the threat's mostly going to come from up here, and I think a well-placed turret should be able to hold the line. That'll keep it busy for a while. Gotta memorize the shortcuts. This is definitely a game where learning the hotkeys can save you a lot of time. And often you'll be making a steady advance, but every now and then the situation will change, a mutation will develop, and seconds will count in your response. Again, peaks and valleys wrapped around kind of a steady wave of activity. And I know it was said, I know I called it kind of the complete opposite of They Are Billions, but there is something similar in the sense that you're managing a relatively small number of units against an absolute horde of enemies that is constantly probing your defenses. Alright, the aliens are mutating again, Commander. Looks like our structures are vulnerable to poison now. Yeah, so this is interesting. Because we took on a bonus mission, we're actually seeing stuff before it was properly properly tutorialized. Jesus Christ. I'm just drinking tea. This is just me being stupid. Anyway, let's see here. The turret should be able to hold the line for now. Okay, capture all enemy control points. Why's the arrow still pointing to there? Oh, don't mind if I do. Thank you, Kirby. Alright.
Attacking target.
Y'all head on up there and introduce yourselves to the locals' real friend and lack. Beautiful. Enzyme softened metal. How fare you with no steel slaves? I mean, you know, it wasn't great, but we made it this far. No. Metal is our friend. Trust me, Mr. Bug Administrator, you're gonna wish you had some of it before this was over. Let's get some shotguns. And nicely, your weapon upgrades don't scale with the number of them, or don't escalate in cost with the number of them you have deployed. You can theoretically have everybody using the same weapon, and it'll cost the same amount each time to upgrade. It's only units. It's only your soldiers themselves which increase in cost with everyone you call up. Alright, get some turrets up. It's a little bit dicey here. Hive spit. Okay, yeah, that's annoying. Alright. Gotta live it dicey there, but eh. Can't argue it wasn't quick. Now, there is, throw a turret there. What's this? Nah. Put one right here. Alright. Sure way to this last objective. Oh, right, I forgot about that. We can't... Sorry, guys, I forgot we can drop a medical pod here. Sit tight. There you go. Hey, don't you feel all better? See, I'm looking out for you. I'm the best at tactics. Yeah, see, a few of them did slip away. And it's hard to tell if that's just the AI sometimes... I'm wondering if it's something the AI is specifically programmed to do, or if it's like a fear thing and it's just overlapping instructions that occasionally use the level geography to hit you where you're not looking. Soldier type, wheelbarrow. Yeah, just drag the healing drone along. Alright, I think you get the idea. So basically it's a pretty... like, we're... in terms of story missions, we look like we're about halfway, but given how some of them get a lot more difficult, they tend to take a lot longer. Like, most of this was obviously just tutorial stuff, and there's obviously a good chunk of bonus missions. You get a good amount of bang for your buck, and it's a pretty solid campaign. That doesn't really overstay its welcome. It's also the kind of game that's fun to play in short bursts, and I like revisiting it from time to time. So, I'll be back out a little bit. We'll check out the planetary campaign mode, which, as mentioned, was released as DLC in 2016. And let's see, map size normal, difficulty normal, and this one creates, new start campaign. This one creates kind of an open-ended map area where you'll have a small number of units that you'll deploy, and the aliens will respond accordingly. Let's see. It's pretty straightforward, but it kind of mixes up the rhythm of progression and makes it feel a little less linear than the campaign. I'll play a few missions to demonstrate. So, let's grab this human army here. So yeah, you can see here, if we destroy this army, we get a couple of grenadiers. So, this is a 2, that's our base, so we want to protect that. Let us make a push here. Alright. Gain research, grenades. Done. Alright. So yeah, the maps tend to be a little bit smaller, but we have more tactical abilities that are at our disposal. These carry over from mission to mission, so using them up here means they won't be available for subsequent missions, and you'll find other ways to regain the points as you go. So yeah. Start mission. So if we wanted to use these, fire cruise missile at the targeted area. You know what? Wait, we'll use this. We'll use one of these here to demonstrate. And as mentioned, this is unique in that it causes hives to not respawn. That's our base. Please don't destroy our base. All right. Good job, guys. Go ahead and claim that. So yeah, this... let's grab that. Yeah, this favors quicker, kind of more decisive movement, and smaller maps that kind of get you into the action more quickly. One of them I tried out actually had me right next to... had my structure right next to the hive, separated by a thin wall, so I was under pressure pretty much right from the get-go. So it's an interesting little change up to the progression, although the gameplay itself is obviously identical without any significant changes, but it's a fun little bonus mode for when you clear the campaign and want something a little bit different. Nice and easy. Okay, sector captured, 1 tech point, 1 tactic point. So yeah, the tech tree is also changed a little bit too. Rather than get money, you get points. So let's see, engineering, that requires 3, we only got 1. 7, blah, blah, blah. Alright, so we're definitely going to need a lot more points before we can grab something. Which is a shame. But we got grenades, which helps. Okay, so you see there the aliens are attacking there. Sector has no defenders to oppose the attack. Use the fortify action to build defense. So, let us... right, so we need to fortify these areas. So this area is surrounded. Save the army from losing morale. Reconnect it to a stronghold. But I think we'll just have to send this army over here and leave this sector to be. So let's reconnect here. Squash this army here. Start mission. Alright, fellas, make it quick. Oh, damn, they got a mortar turret up. So yeah, they have a mix of abilities from the campaign, some of which will be ready for the get-go, and some of which will be just mutations that show up. But they're pretty good about scaling the challenge of the mission with the actual rating of the army. I haven't found a lot of nasty surprises when I got into one of these missions. Alright. Recaptured. No tech points, unfortunately. We did get a tactics power, so we got another point back. And they get that back as well. Damnation! Alright, well... we need to fortify. Yeah, we will fortify this. There we go. Spend 1 morale to create defenses in nearby sectors. Perfect, perfect. Now we will attack. So yeah, it has kind of a diet version of a grand strategy feel to it, on a very, very small scale. Or actually, what it reminds me of is... I forget what it was called. It was in the Warhammer 40k. It was in the Dawn of War game Dark Crusade. Like, in addition to the campaign, it had like this map clearing mode where you went into missions, but you also had a big overmap in which the enemy was constantly making advances of their own. It had a very similar look to it. That's kind of what this reminds me of. I'm not describing it very well, but that's... It's been a long time since I played it, but it did have that kind of strategic layer. That was the campaign at Dark Crusade and Soulstorm. Okay, yeah, kind of... It's been a long time since I have played those games, unfortunately. I didn't get too far into Dark Crusade. But yeah, it was an interesting little twist on... It was an interesting little twist on the gameplay, which... The Dawn of War, the original Dawn of War, and the one that introduced the Imperial Guard, which I believe was Winter Assault, those were a little more standard narrative-driven RTS campaigns. So interesting to see them try something that was a little more open-ended and flexible. And that's kind of what that reminds me of. Anyway, good job, team. Alright. Now the aliens are attacking our fortifications. That'll give us time to respond. Alright, let us move. Let's fortify here. Just gonna see if we can sort of get our way out of this box canyon here. Let us move. Yeah, we'll move here. That'll take the pressure off here, and this one will have to go through us to get to here. Yeah, that could work. Ooh, we got a nice vivid red to this. I think we'll use a missile on this to start with. Actually, what are the other ones? Calling 3 Marines to join your squad for the rest of the battle. They come with a flamethrower and a medic. Ooh, okay. Yeah, why not?
Airdrop inbound. Awaiting orders. Roger that. Reinforcements here. Yes, sir.
Beautiful. Alright.
Target. Target.
Now we got some fire support. Excuse me. Alright. Grenades. Damn, we don't have enough points. So yeah, flamethrower, naturally, very good at clearing out alien hives and dealing with hordes. Which happen to be the aliens' preferred tactic. Doesn't solve every problem. That's what the minigun is for, but damn handy to have a couple in your squad. Alright, beautiful. Alright, good. Based on past battles, the aliens evolve a permanent mutation. Aliens permanently gain assassins. Oh, joy. Alright, yeah, so they've got their own little tech tree to advance through here. Activate the battle starts. Yeah, whatever, we'll kill them eventually. Aliens attack defenders for 1 to 5 damage. Got it. Alright, I think you get the idea. So basically, you would go through this map, clearing territories one at a time, dealing with a numerically superior number of alien armies, but building up defenses and fortifying. So it's sort of the same, it's comparable progression through an individual mission in the campaign, but just kind of at a much larger scale and with smaller bite-sized missions where you fight it out between the armies here. It's an interesting little twist. Like I said, it doesn't change the gameplay that much, but I like what they're doing, and it's a shame the developer didn't get more to do, because based on what they did with this game, I think they could have had something. I think they had more to offer the genre. Ah well, we'll get back to the menu. Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, that's Infested Planet. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We will most likely be back to Baldur's Gate 3 on Saturday, although I have been informed that one of our members will be doing some tabletop stuff periodically, so I might need a second game to play on off nights. And I'll probably do something... God, there's a few things I want to get to, but I'm not sure if I will do another long play on Saturday as well alongside that. We'll play it by ear. But yeah, I will notify people as soon as we are sure, but otherwise assume we will be continuing with Baldur's Gate unless otherwise noted. Until then, have a good night, and thanks for watching.